everybody, thanks for joining me today. In today's video, we're just going to be going ahead and stitching out the Kurumi patch. As you can see, I've already got it loaded onto the Lapona MT1501. I'm using a 5x5 mighty hoop. I'm using some white felt and some cutaway stabilizer. So we're just going to go ahead and get it stitched out. Now stay tuned for the ending because I'm going to show you guys how I took the finished patch, how I cut it out, and how I added the heat and bond to the patch, and how I added it to my baby's fanny pack. Also, since I had two of those wonderful patches, I also added a patch to the jacket. So stay tuned to the end so you can see how that's done. And like, share, and subscribe to the video for me. And thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy.
everybody. So Kurumi has finished embroidering, and I must say that it looks amazing. And also, you guys, I've still been practicing my digitizing, so I did digitize this patch out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it and we're going to use some Heat and Bond Ultra, which is sticky on two sides. And we are going to put it on my girl's fanny pack that she wanted. And of course, she had to get lavender because I love lavender and so does she. So we're just going to stick it right on the front because she never has to have anything that's just so plain. She can have whatever she wants. Alright, everybody, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper on top of just the old piece of scrap wood that I had right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat up the back of the patch. And my little HTV rod iron is already heated up, so I'm going to just go ahead and put some heat on the back of those stitches. And then I'm going to take my Ultra Heat and Bond, the side that feels more rough and shiny, and we're going to just go ahead and put it on the back of the patch. And actually, that piece looks really big, so I'm just going to cut it down a little bit smaller. Let's see, that looks better. Because who needs to use all that, right? All right, so let's give it a little bit more heat there. All right. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm going to lay it down. And I'm going to lay it on top of my parchment paper, and I'm going to put my felt on the back. Just an old scrap piece of felt that I had. And then I'm going to iron it down. Until that glue sticks to the patch. Let's check it out. Not sticking. So maybe for this first application, you see I didn't want to put it on that side because I had Heat and Bond on the inside there, and I didn't want it to get all sticky on my patch. So I'm going to just lay it on top of this parchment paper, and we're going to try that again. We're just going to keep going around and keep going around. So Kurumi gets glue all on the back of the patch, you guys. And this is why I like to use my parchment paper, because some of the glue is coming up on the other side of this parchment paper. Now that looks good. Looks like it is all stuck down now, so I'm just going to give that just a second to cool, and then I'm going to fold in my parchment paper where that glue came off so that it doesn't get on the front of my patch. All right, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and just cut around. Kurumi. All right, so now I have the paper backing on the back side of the Kurumi, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel it off like that. And hopefully you guys can see that it does have the sticky side on the back now. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to take my bag, and I think I'm just going to heat it up just a little bit. Not too much, because this is some very tricky polyester fabric, and I don't want to scorch it. So I'm going to just lay the patch where I want it to go. Then I am going to take this piece of felt that I had before and lay it on top. I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is take another piece of parchment paper that I had and just lay that on top of that so the glue won't get all sticky on there. And then I'm just going to iron. And just keep going around. Keep going around Kurumi and just keep ironing it on. Trying to give it like a little bit of pressure as I'm ironing. And I don't really like to just put my iron right on top of the patch. That's why I have my felt on the bottom on top of the patch, because I just feel like when you put the iron right on top of the patch, it flattens out the stitches so much, and I don't really like that look. So I just put the little felt on top, and that should help to keep those stitches intact. All right, so we're gonna let it cool off for a minute, and we're gonna see if it sticks. Now it does look like it's sticking everywhere except for this one little side here in the corner. So I'm gonna put my felt back on top, and we're gonna try that top one more time by those ears. Let's check. All right, you guys, that looks good. So now there we have it. I'm just going to give it a little time to cool. This one side is still not sticking down as much as I want. So let me try it one more time over here. Maybe I'll use the back side. It's bigger. Right, and it looks like it took that time, so I'm just gonna let it rest. Isn't it beautiful? This is the second stitch out that I did after I did my first test, and I just changed her colors to gray. Turned out amazing. There it is. And then also my first stitch out, since I love this so much, I just went ahead and put it on my jacket sleeve so that I could keep on patching up my jacket as well. And this one, as you can see, turned out with the black stitches on her little ears. Okay, so we have Kurumi black, and then we also have Kurumi gray. All right. So again, my name is Tracy with JDO Threads, and I want to thank you guys for joining me in my video today. Remember, keep having fun at your craft, keep stitching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.